I'm Teisha Bader with Shalom TV's News Update. The Jerusalem Post reports that Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu reiterated his calls for direct peace talks with the Palestinians without preconditions on Monday. The Prime Minister also fired back at criticism over Israel's decision to build housing in the controversial E1 area, which connects Ma'ale Adumim to Jerusalem, saying that the assertion that the building plans there preclude an eventual Palestinian state is, quote, simply false, unquote. Netanyahu also said that the government had taken many steps to advance the prospects for peace negotiations, including enhancing economic and security cooperation with Ramallah, removing roadblocks, and implementing a 10-month moratorium on building in the Israeli settlements, but said that the Palestinians have refused to negotiate even during the construction freeze. Netanyahu also criticized the world's silence over this past weekend's celebrations in Gaza, with Hamas leader Khalid Mashal marking the terror organization's 25th anniversary, in which Mashal called for the destruction of Israel. Netanyahu said both Palestinian Authority President Mahmoud Abbas and the international community should have condemned Mashal's hate speech. Jonathan Pollard was returned to U.S. federal prison over the weekend after being hospitalized for the past week. Pollard will be monitored by the prison clinic at the Butner Federal Correction Institute in North Carolina, where he is serving his life sentence, pending results from various tests that were performed during his hospital stay, including reportedly an MRI brain scan. Pollard's wife Esther expressed her great disappointment that nothing meaningful has been done on the part of Israel to secure her husband's release. She called once again on Israel's President Shimon Peres, citing his close relationship with U.S. President Obama, to help gain Pollard's freedom from a, quote, grossly disproportionate sentence, unquote. There are no more excuses, Esther said. Rather, time is running out. Mr. Peres, please act without delay. Rabbi Pesach Lerner, Executive Vice President Emeritus of the National Council of Young Israel, who leads the American campaign for Pollard, said the holiday season was the right time to ask Obama for clemency. Hanukkah is a perfect opportunity for President Peres to ask for this humane gesture from President Obama, Lerner said. It is a matter of justice. It is a humanitarian issue. Most important of all, it is a matter of saving a life. What is Peres waiting for? Pollard was convicted of spying for Israel and just last month began the 28th year of his life sentence. Efforts to free jailed Jewish American contractor Alan Gross are being led by the Conference of Presidents of major American Jewish organizations. Conference Chairman Richard Stone and Executive Vice Chairman Malcolm Hoenlein are urging their member organizations, their affiliates, and community members to join in a petition launched by Gross's wife, Judy, to free Gross, who has been held in a Cuban prison for 3 years. The conference also cited the recent finding by the UN Working Group on Arbitrary Detention that found that Gross is being held illegally and in violation of international law. Gross has lost 105 pounds since his incarceration and is suffering from various ailments, including a growth behind his shoulder, although Cuba claims his health is fine. The petition to free Gross calls on the government of Cuba to release him and also calls on both the Cuban and U.S. governments to resolve the case. The petition can be found at bringalanhome.org. Alan Gross was sentenced to 15 years in prison for allegedly bringing satellite equipment and internet access to Cuba's Jewish community. The Anti-Defamation League responded to the FBI's annual Hate Crime Statistics Act report, which showed a decrease in hate crimes in 2011. The 2011 FBI report documented 6,222 hate crimes, a 6% decrease from 2010, and the lowest number of reported hate crimes since 1994. The ADL welcomed the reduction but said the hate crimes that did take place are still far too many, and called on law enforcement and community leaders to do more. ADL National Chair Barry Curtis Lusher and ADL National Director Abe Foxman said it was troubling that Jews and Jewish institutions continue to be principal targets, accounting for 63% of all religion-based hate crimes in 2011, showing once again that anti-Semitism is still a serious and deeply entrenched problem in America. Anti-Jewish hate crimes were the highest reported by the FBI, followed by anti-Islamic offenses, which came in at a distant second with a reported 13.3%. The ADL also cited that the FBI numbers did not show how many hate crimes go unreported, and said they would continue to lead advocacy training and legal efforts to improve the response to and reporting of hate crimes across the country. And finally, some sad news. Jewish Week founder Irving Schneider has died. Schneider passed away November the 23rd in Palm Beach, Florida, at the age of 93. In addition to being a founding board member of the paper, Schneider was a major sponsor of the Schneider Children's Hospitals in the U.S. and in Israel. He was also a major donor to many causes, including the UJA Federation of New York, where he served as a life trustee. The organization's executive vice president and CEO, John Ruskay, spoke of Schneider to the Jewish Week, saying he was central in mobilizing the New York Jewish community and the American Jewish community to stand with the people of Israel to solidify its commitment. He knew how important it was to the Jewish present and the Jewish future. Schneider also served on the board of governors of the Jewish Agency, as well as being a trustee of Tel Aviv University and of the Museum of Jewish Heritage Living Memorial to the Holocaust in Manhattan. Irving Schneider is survived by 2 daughters and 4 grandchildren. And that's Shalom TV's news update. I'm Teisha Bader.